Hey, everybody. So I'm just going to jump right into it here. We're going to start since I'm starting a little bit behind that 8:45 window. Um, Apple, and you're seeing a lot of noise today on what's going on. Obviously, if you get the newsletter, even in the free version, you'll know that we're in this a little cheaper, 133. But let's just go through this and see what's going on. So pre-market, good news. I'm breaking out. I'm taking out highs. Okay. This could just be starting. Okay. So I don't see the need to jump out and move. And, their earnings are coming out very, very shortly. Okay. July 27th. They just announced today that they're seeing so much demand that for the iPhone that they have to increase their orders. This is what you're looking for. So I would be very apprehensive to just sell into this. If I was in it, let it break out, let it actually do what it's supposed to do. And the reason I'm saying that is like, look, Bonk tried to break out, couldn't, right? And it's this level right here. Okay. Tried to break out, couldn't, comes down, forms a morning star, tries again, can't, tries 2 days ago, can't, tries yesterday, finally does it and stays above it, even in the tape. Today takes out a new high. If you're in this, what's the hurry to get out is kind of how I'm looking at it. I don't get it. You have a trend right here. You have a huge upper trend line up here that gets you to 154 before you even have to be concerned about anything. So I don't see the big hurry here. Good morning. So, hey, Anna. I'm just going to get to this. I'm going to answer this, and then I'm going to start going through some of the stocks. So, no, I don't think they're close to a floor. I think there's a major change coming in those names, and I know people are playing that bounce today because Alibaba and Tencent said they're going to work together. I really don't care. That's not the underlying problem. To me, that's more of a smokescreen on what's really going on. That's been part of the issue with them. They just say one thing and they do something completely different. So again, I would just stay away from the entire sector, and unless they get absolutely decimated, which they have. What we've seen is not complete decimation. So what needs to happen is they need to get hit so hard that the government actually looks at this and goes, well, we can no longer actually go to the U.S. market, and then they're forced to do something. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I think that move down could just be beginning. And I think a lot of institutional people are not going to buy those names anymore, especially after DIDI. I think they've just had it. So here's your ZUO. You have this big bar down. And now in this whole time in here, you're forming a what? You're forming a bear flag, but you're holding the 21 day. I mean, it's up to you. I wouldn't touch it just because of the position I'm in. I'm in a bear flag. To me, it means that it's probably going to roll and break this. I have no way of knowing that or not. I would also say that this support level 1733 closing below this would scare me. And you're not below it yet, but see how you're hitting here and here? Getting below that would scare me a little bit. I wouldn't want to be in that. AFRM. So the news yesterday is probably the worst case scenario for something like a smaller company like AFRM. You just found out that your one vendor who you're using is coming out and duplicating your product. So Apple came out and said they're going to create something to do installment payments. Well, if they do that, which they are going to do, that is a massive blow to this industry, like massive. So that is a secular change. And I expect to watch people completely just puke the stock out and get rid of it. I'd imagine you're going back to 46 fairly quickly. So we'll see how that plays out. But you see this long red bar right here? See this huge volume right here, Anna? That tells you everything you need to know. Everything. So just consider that. I would not be chasing into that. So let's do KOPN. You got it. KOPN. So again, this is one that we were in a while ago. I got in at 11 and hit this level. Just FYI. See how it keeps hitting a level over and over and over again and then doesn't break that level, right? It's a pretty solid door that it's not going to be able to get through, and it kept knocking. So when you see that, that's why we got out of it. But we just did that for a trade. We would have gotten out anytime sooner anyway. But what you're seeing is you're just seeing a massive meltdown here. And these kind of smaller cap names, they're just toast. I mean, they're nowhere near where any of the money is going. All the money is going in the larger cap names. So you're going to see names like this really come in. To me, let's get rid of all these indicators and just look at where the price is going. Every single support level is being broken. So I don't see any reason why you're not heading down to this level. 592. So it's not something that I would buy. I don't see anything telling me that that's heading higher or leaning towards higher. ZBRA we had in there for a trade the other day, and it broke. So, and by broke, we had it in for a trade, and then I was just watching the 8-day, just a simple trade, and it broke that yesterday. So, it depends what you want to do with it. When you broke down here, right, it does set you up to take out this 21-day, right, and test that 21-day. So that's really what you're looking for, right? That's what you're trying to see. It's up to you what you do with that trade. I mean, when it broke that 8-day, that was enough for me to be out of it, right? That's what I was looking for. If you want to stay in it, stay in it. I don't think it's broken. I think it has massive potential long term, but you could get to that 21-day. So just watch that. ASAN. Well, this one has just been a rocket ship, right? And it doesn't really seem to be having any reason to stop in sight. Now, what's so interesting about this name is look at what's going on with it, right? You have a massive breakdown across the board, and at the same time, you have this flag forming, and we didn't take out this low. So what does that tell you? I mean, it tells you that there's still demand for this. So I would argue that if you get a close above this line, that it's probably actionable, right? But you need a close above that line. I'm not sure that you're going to get that today, but that's what I would be looking for. I would certainly be looking for a close, because if you get that, you're going to see more people get involved. But you want that close. That's what you need. So let's just keep going. What else do we have here? I want to do Microsoft too. FUV. Yeah, these smaller names, I think that they're just, I really do. I think that they're going to have a large issue. It's holding the 200-day, but you see how the 21 and the 50 are crossing? I mean, are you getting any type of move today? No. I mean, look, all these names are going to have issues. And not only that, they're going to have supply issues, right? I don't know if you saw this one. This is kind of similar space, not really. Same company. CEOs out today just simply saying that they can't get any of the products to make their vehicles. So not all, I'm giving hyperbole, but they're just saying that it's all going to the larger manufacturers that are cutting deals. So they're having a very hard time doing anything. And that's going to be an issue. So just consider that, and in regards to Roku, let's do Roku. No, I would not be playing this name. It doesn't appeal to me. I get what you see with the 200-day, but it just doesn't appeal to me. So Roku to me looked like it was getting ready for a breakout, and then it just didn't happen. So I was getting really close to actually pulling the trigger on this one in the newsletter, and it just failed. So I'm glad that I didn't. Now this morning you're just basing right above that line, but look how you're just sitting right on that 8-day. So I would be somewhat apprehensive here, right? See how we bounced here and couldn't break. Then we tried yesterday to get above that level and we couldn't do it. It's an issue. It's a real issue, and it's something that needs to be addressed. I like the name a lot. Like, I think it's a great company. It's a great name, but this is not something where you're going to want to be completely involved with. You're going to want to wait and see it actually do what it's supposed to do, because if not, this 8 is going to take you into the 21 day, and you're not going to want to be around for that. But I have it on my short list. Like, I really want to add it to my newsletter, but we're just not there. Yep. Anytime, Dan. So let's just keep going. Hey, Swing Monkey. Yep. Let's see. We got those. Affirm. No, with the Affirm news is bad for, the news for Apple, that's bad. It's bad for Affirm. TRMR. So essentially what you're looking for, it's a newer name. Look, when you have these newer names, what you want to do is you want to go out and you just want to go out for a longer or a shorter time, and you see what's going on with it. Now, you broke through that one trend line, right? And you're kind of riding that 8 hourly moving average. It is what it is. It could definitely push. You just don't have a lot around you to make that decision. So, Microsoft, I do want to do Microsoft. So, Microsoft is actually setting up to like flip a big line, and we'll see how this plays out. But that's exactly what it looks like it's going to do. It looks like we're going to flip this channel. So it actually looks like we're going to flip it and go get above it and go parabolic. So we'll see what happens today. It looks like yesterday simply was just across the board from the way that we're bidding up today on the Q, 62 basis points. Apple's up 2%. Amazon's up 1%. It just, to me, just kind of looks like, I can go through the litany of names. Here, I'll go down here and just go through them. If you go through the changes, you could just see them all. Like, they're all over the place. So to me, these are setting up to break out. I've felt that way for some time, and I use technicals to make that decision, but this is setting up to go. And this is nothing compared to what it could do if it does get above there. So, for those that follow the newsletter and, either version of it, I'm at 300, and I think that's an underestimation compared to where this can go. There's a lot going on here right now. And, just look at this, and because this is 40% of the index is Apple. Okay. And Microsoft. Okay. That's what 40% of this index is. So let's just take a look at this for a moment, right? I'm at a major trend line here on the technology index in the S&P. To me, this is going to do one of two things. We're either going to base, trend back down, revert to the mean, which would take us maybe to the 21 day, right? Or I'm going to explode to the upside. I think you have a decent chance to explode to the upside here. So I really believe that. That's kind of how I'm saying. So let's just say, good morning, Marty. Yeah, AMEH. We've been looking for this, right? We've been waiting for it to pull an SWBI, and there it is. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. So, now everybody wonders what they own, and they're going to start second guessing it. And then now it starts. Now starts the second guessing it. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have bought it here. It's why when people were trying to buy it, I kept saying, you just use 15-minute charts. That's all. Now, in regards to this and here, you're probably going to 66 now is where before I would even think of buying it or looking at it. And I have no interest in this. It's broken now. But $67 if I was in this and it broke 67, that would be my concern. So, DocuSign. Let's go through DocuSign. So we're just sitting there at what? Where we close? 283. We're up to 286. Um, I like this. I have it in the newsletter. I don't know if that's why you're asking or not. This breakout, I'm not crazy about. You had the sell off that follows through, usually with a breakout failure like that. And we'll see what today brings. The only thing that I would point out is I really didn't break anything yet. Right? I'm still on that one breakout bar and I'm still trying to get over that high. Now, I'm not crazy about the 3-day or the 2 past red days, obviously, but let's see what today brings. I like it. I think it has massive potential. This is a huge base, right? This base goes all the way back to July. I mean, this is a year base that I'm trying to break. So they usually take a little bit of time and sometimes they fail and then have to regroup and come back. Maybe that's what happens here, but if they break out, you get back in these channels, 370 will be nothing compared to what it can do. So that's why I like it. Clove is interesting. Yeah, Clove is interesting, comrade. I was looking at that this morning. I almost put that in the pre-market newsletter. I came real close to it. I went with another one, another smaller name, but so let's just keep going. Anyway, you just gotta, let's just get rid of this stuff so you can see. I mean, there's just nothing about it that's remotely appealing. I saw all the volume coming in and that was interesting, but there was just nothing that was remotely appealing about it. So, I'm just going to stay away from it until it gets at least above that bearish engulfing pattern that you see where I have the line on, right? That 1022. So let's just keep going. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Microsoft's going to show its wings, got him. I mean, I do believe that. DIDI, I would just avoid. I don't know what's going to happen there. I can't believe that they have not settled their dispute yet at all. I mean, they haven't even tried to settle that dispute yet, right? So they're actually going the opposite way with it and trying to pull it off more stuff. This is a huge red down day. And this is a huge bear flag. So this is not something that I would be wanting to jump right into here, like at all. So I'd be on the other side of this. I mean, I would not want to be like looking at getting in this at all. What else do we have? I did do ZUO already, Gaither. I can, well, yeah, I could XE. Let's just look at this. So I looked at this earlier this morning. Like, look, you're getting a ton of volume already, right? So if we just throw in these indicators, you can just see how this volume spike. It's clearly being manipulated. I mean, that's not really hard to figure out, right? So we understand what we're buying. Okay. To me, I would want to see it clear this 545 level before getting involved. And, that's kind of where my head is with it. Other than that, I wouldn't get involved. I would just pay up for it. But maybe you get another spike like this. I mean, it definitely can happen, Ro. So APPS. So I don't see it. I mean, I don't really see the reason that I would want to be in this, right? That's just my personal opinion. I broke down. I mean, we were looking at trying to play this bounce here and see if we were going to get it after, because sometimes, these news announcements come out and then they're not as bad as we think they are, right? And then the company explains them and then we can go back up. That's not what happened here. We tried to do that. We broke down again. And we came down here and now you have a little wedge. Now you're forming another H, right? Another little H, which leads me to believe that you're probably going to test this again, right? And where does that put us in regard to the indicators? So that's going to take you below the 200-day, which sets you up for this. I don't know why that's there. It should be here. So it really sets you up for this 50s. So I have no interest in being in that. Raj, I see what I mean, if you're looking on the long side, I get it. You're looking at the 200-day, probably, right? But I wouldn't be looking at that. I like this company. I've traded it a couple times. I think you're setting up again here. I think all these larger cap software names are kind of setting up, but we're just not there yet. And it's just, people are going into the Microsofts and the stocks like that right now. So, I like it. It just has to give me some volume, like show me some love. Like we just have nothing going on here whatsoever that is remotely appealing, right? We're just like falling. We just keep falling. Like it's just, there's no really other way. There's no technical way to explain it. Like here's your rising channel. I tried to get through it. I couldn't. Here's my lower channel. I'm respecting that. So let's go on. Hey, Nad. So, repost. Yeah, always, Marty, always repost if I miss, please. So let's do these, please. And if I miss you, please just repost it because I'm trying to get as many out in a short period of time as possible. So just throw it back up if you don't see it. So, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, so it keeps me from buying it, but it is a behemoth and the behemoths are working. So that, you have to trade what you're trading, right? You can't just use, your feelings, like if you don't like a company or not. So to me, I think that if you break this 385 level or 358 level, I apologize, it's going to break out and go. Now, the problem with Twitter, okay, is that, and I don't know when earnings are, we'll say, okay, I would not own this into earnings I try to avoid owning stocks into earnings unless I'm up significantly in them. But in regards to this, I would be very, very careful. People are leaving this platform a lot faster than they're leaving any other platform. So it's a concern, right, for growth. And it really is somewhat troubling. So I'd be very careful about being into it. If you go through and click on these events, I mean, this was the last earnings event. Now we traded back to that level. Okay. This was that earnings event that really wasn't that great, but we went up. So to me, it's really a crapshoot on what's going to happen here. I've been looking at this and waiting for this breakout for years, right? Like, look here. You see this, Marty. So here you are at 50, 75, 32, 70, 43, right? And we're trying to break it. The month's not over, and they're just doing this right in the month of, doing it right in the month where earnings, this just happens to be happening. So I'm very apprehensive to be in this one. And I get it, but I would just watch it. So Snow. So Snow is basically a rejection yesterday, right? But it's not really over, is it? I mean, here's your 200-day moving average and it's building, and you're building a flag under it. You tried to get above the 272 and go higher, right? And you were going to get to this 280 level. That didn't happen. And now you're just building a flag. There's nothing broken here. It's just, maybe it needs some time. There is a 3-bar pattern I don't talk about very often, but this could go up on that. Like if it got above this wick, it could run, but I don't think that you're going to see that there. I think you're going to see consolidation on that. So let's just keep going. SQ and CCXI. Let me do CCXI. I think I saw that one a couple of times. Let's get rid of these indicators. So essentially you've just had an absolute disaster. Something happened. I don't know the company. So you can tell me, and clue me in if you're familiar with it, but that's your range. Okay. And then we broke that range, didn't we? And we came up with a new range, which was this range. Okay. So that's our range, right? And we can see that. I mean, I'm not giving you anything that's crazy here. I mean, you can see how the low of this and the high of this could establish a range, and you see how it did that. So getting through this 1884 is your level. I mean, I would not go anywhere near that until I got it. Now, what's interesting about that is, see this wick? This wick is price rejection, which means that if I probably throw in like a volume by price, right, you'll see a gap, which you see a gap right when you get into it. So you see how there's literally no volume there whatsoever, like none. That's exactly what you're looking for. So if you get over this 1884, it could go, and your first target would be like $24. That's how I would play it if I wanted to play it. So I hope that's helpful, Xavier. So Snap, we can look at Snap. Can I say ATMH has based? I don't know if you can say that or not. You can say anything you want. It doesn't make it true, right? Right. Let's go through. Let's say ATMH. I don't know if that's based or not. ATMH. I don't know if you could say it's based. It's a 13-cent stock. Who the heck knows what that's done? Snap. I'm like the wrong person to ask on microcaps, and microcaps are microcaps for a reason. I just watch it. I mean, like, look, this is not a good looking chart. We rejected clearly here. That long red bar has rejected. We are forming an H. You have a bear flag. Like there's so many negative things to say about that chart. And then you look at it and realize, like, that's the time, I equated this to being in like, an abusive relationship, because you keep waiting for it to get better, and it just doesn't. Like, look, here we are again. So, all right, I got to do one more, and then I'm going to have to jump here. ATHM. All right, ATHM. ATHM. All right, ATHM. Auto home, it's just not working. You're not working. You can't get. I don't know why you want to buy this. I don't know what you're looking about this that makes it attractive. Let's assume it's something fundamental, right? And so you want to be in it for a fundamental reason. Okay. That's the very first positive thing I could tell you about that chart. Now, the next thing you'd have to do is you'd have to get above this level. And get through 67 before I'd go look at it. And TDOC I want to do, and MOXC, and then I'm done. So TDOC, MOXC, and it's over. So I like this trade. This is very interesting. I would expect this to be getting way more play on this. Microsoft Teams is adding it. So I would expect to see this have more action than it's having, and we're not seeing that. And what else did I say I would go over? I like that. That may be a trade. This might be the thing that gets it back in the channel and gets it going. And your first stop on this, TDOC, hold on. Your first stop on this would be these levels, mid 170s. MOXC. You're running right into this line. I've been watching this one. You're running right into this line, and you keep rejecting. So keep that in mind. It's not something I would jump into there. All right, that's it, everyone. I got to get going here. I got 10 minutes left. Usually Jern's throwing out a number for me and telling me the time. It's not here today. All right, everyone, have a great day.